little bit about what I recommend for mods on an LT1 car. Let's just make that a video. Alright, first and foremost, make sure everything is up to mechanical operation. Alright, make sure you ain't got any misfires, got good compression, got good fluids in it, everything. It's good. It's good to go. All right. Second off, if you have a manual transmission, you can just start with bolt-ons usually. They actually have a pretty decent gear in them. They have a 342 in them. You can automatically start with, like, you know, your basic bolt-ons. All right. And I'll get to that in a minute, because the basic bolt-ons will apply to both automatic and manual. Automatic is a little tricky. Everybody wants to go for the cam first, or the thump, or the loudness, and all that stuff. I'm here to tell you, start from the rear forward, okay? Gears. A typical 26 to a 28 inch tall tire is going to benefit from a 323 or a 373 to a 390 gear. All right, sometimes a 410. It kind of depends on what type of racing you're doing. In a 7.5 inch 10 bolt, I would not put a 410 back there. They're already weak. It just makes it a lot weaker. So just stay away from the 410, unless you just want to fork out some money for an 8.8 or a 9 inch. Then you can kind of adjust from there. So going forward, good transmission, make sure you got good fluid. A trans cooler, that's probably number one on my list on one of these. So get you a TransDap 40K. It's real big. It looks like it belongs on the RV. Huge. I got one on this one. The temps don't get above like 130, so it's good to go. Converter. All right, so now we're starting to plan ahead here. So a converter, you want it to match your car. All right, you want it to match the cam and the weight of the vehicle, etc., etc. Personally, even on a stock cammed car, I wouldn't waste my time on anything below a 3,000 stall. Period. This thing has a 3600 in it with lockup. I'm cruising at 75 miles an hour right now, and it doesn't really affect the fuel economy too bad. And I know you fuel economy guys are still going to watch this. So in town, yeah, it does a little bit because you're revving a little bit more. But I can let off the brake on this one at a red light, and it just starts rolling. So it's not like it takes a lot to keep, to make it go. So this one's cam. It's got a pretty hefty cam in it, and it's got a 3600, and it matches pretty good. But again, I wouldn't waste my time on anything below a 3000. So my typical clientele is going to be honestly a 3,000 to 4,000 RPM stall converter. That's going to be your usual typical street car with a 4L60E. That's what I would do. I wouldn't cheap out on it either. I wouldn't go buy like a B&M whole shot or anything like that. This one has a Pro Torque in it. It was, I think, about $800 or $900. Good investment. It's going to last a while. It's a good quality converter. It flashes where it needs to flash. All that. Good converter. I don't worry about shift kits in 4L60Es. I do like the Corvette servo, but a shift kit's really not needed. You can adjust pressures and stuff in the PCM when you get your tune. I don't honestly crank up the pressures a lot at all. I'll make them shift a little quicker, but pressure-wise, I don't go above 92 to sometimes 100. It just kind of depends on how wore out that trans is, but I usually don't go past that. Motor-wise, all right, exhaust. Headers and a full exhaust. You're going to gain probably 15 to 25 wheel with that, with a proper tune. Pick your poison. I'm not a fan of Flowmaster stuff. I'll tell you that right now. Don't waste your time on shorties. That's stupid. Don't do it. Long tubes only. You can do cats or no cats. I've never really seen an issue with running cats on one of these, especially in today's market with high flow catalytic converters. That the technology's gone. It's pretty good now. So you might lose 5 horsepower. Who cares, you know? And then pick your poison on your headers. I've got Cooks on this one. The only reason I run Cooks on this one, it came with them. I ain't about to spend $1,100 on a set of headers from a damn LT1. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, Speed Engineering or OBX or any eBay header with long tube, good to go. You might need to modify a couple little things, but hey, that's the name of the game sometimes. These weren't easy to fit either, even though they're $1,100. These things suck to install. So, fair warning. Intake. Don't waste your time on the little short ram intake. Don't get them stupid Spectre intakes, the little metal intake tubes, the ones that look like hot garbage. Do not waste your money on that. Please, like, just stop. K&N, Moroso, or an SLP, period. The true cold air intake will work wonders on these cars. Do not put one of them stupid cone filters on it that's under the hood with a metal intake tube. Don't do it. There's also metal elbows for these. Yeah, don't waste your time on them. They have a trick flow one that's a nice quality unit. If you have a ripped boot, go for it. Or just get the 1LE elbow that just gets rid of the air silencer that hangs down. The eBay knockoff trick flow ones, they're actually smaller in diameter on the inside of that tube than a stock one. So there's really not a lot of gains right there. Most of your gains are going to be before the MAF. MAF housing wise, there's a couple of MAF housings you can get. I run a bigger housing on this one. I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't do anything. I've dyno tested it, from a small one to one with no fins in it. I've tested ones with this one. I have personally never ran across anything that made them read odd or anything at wide open throttle. I know there's a lot of debate about that stuff. I've done a cam only LT1 with 380 horsepower to the wheels through a 9-inch, and the MAF housing was they didn't have any fins in it. So you tell me who's right or wrong. So roller rockers, these engines are 30 years old now, let's give or take 5, whatever. You're gonna have wore out springs, so that extra lift and the little bit of duration you're gonna gain with that, you're gonna need to change the springs anyway. So roller rockers, I like narrow body ones. If you're not gonna run over like $7 grand or whatever, just the self-aligning ones are fine. I have Scorpions in this. They're noisy as hell. They work. I've never had an issue out of them, except they're just noisy as hell. I've even adjusted them multiple times. They're just noisy. I've got Crane Golds in my other car, and they're quiet as a mouse. Love them. Pick your poison on those, all right? Don't cheap out on them. Valvetrain's the cheap, like, not something you want to cheap out on at all. You don't want needle bearings and stuff rolling around in your engine. You don't want them breaking. You don't want one to drop a valve, etc. Just don't cheap out on them. All right. The reason for upgrading to a roller rocker, not that the stock rockers flex a lot because they're stamped. They flex quite a bit, and so your ratio can go from between a 1.3 to a 1.5, so it can just vary. A nice rocker is going to keep that stable, so a 1.6, you might as well just put a 1.6 in there just to get that extra lift out of it. So that's the whole reasoning behind that. Typically you'll gain, I don't know, 10, I'll just call it 10 wheel horsepower with those. So everybody says every little bit helps. There you go, 10 horsepower. You're going to need it anyway if you're going to do a cam swap, because those stock the stock rockers are not going to hold up to the task. You're actually going to, I'm not going to say you're going to lose power, but you're not going to get your full benefit of your cam. So we'll keep going. So if you just want to keep with a stock cam, just get you a nice set of stock springs or LT1 springs. Just replace them in there. There's no need to like go crazy with those. Just leave them there. A lot of people love upgrading throttle bodies. Don't. I know a lot of tuners have issue with split fuel trims. I don't. I know how to adjust them. I'm just saying you're wasting your time unless you have a ported manifold or you're running a lot of power. All right. This one's got a 48 on it still, and it has an airfoil in it just because it's you know, like it was 20 bucks. Who cares? I'm not going to say anything that it gained any power or not, so I'm going to call that a half a horsepower. That's negligible. So if you want to waste your money on one, go for it, but you're not going to gain anything. My 380 wheel horsepower Camaro ran a stock throttle body. Again, pick your poison. So, cam wise, I like cams. I don't waste my time on anything like a hot cam or anything like that. I know I have a lot of people that like, oh, it's just a cruiser, or it's just a Saturday night special car, or it's just a, if it's just one of those, who cares? Who cares? This thing's rowdy. This is a 230, 238 cam, and I'm driving it like it's a normal car because it's set up right, all right? I'll have a good converter with it, etc. So I probably wouldn't waste my time on anything with below a 224 duration. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't rev this one to 7 grand, but it will. This is a stock bottom end. This is just for stock bottom end stuff. This doesn't count stroker cars or anything like that. This is a typical LT1 that I deal with daily. I wouldn't waste my time on anything below 224. I'd just be honest with you. Not a hot cam or anything like that. Any one of them little sleeper cams, or unless you're just into that kind of crap. I want to hear some chop. I want it to perform good. It's not a dog down low because the converter matches. Now on a 6-speed car, you can get away with quite a bit of cam. You can run a CC306. The gearing's going to hurt you quite a bit. But I don't have a problem daily driving this, and this thing's a lot more radical than a CC306. So, like I said, I've daily driven the car, and I have zero issues. It's AC and heat and everything, and I'm sitting at a red light right now, just in traffic, like it's nothing. And see, I'm just letting off the brake right there, and it starts rolling. So, but yeah, I wouldn't waste my time in anything like that. Off-the-shelf cams, I personally don't have any problem with an off-the-shelf cam, and if that's what you got, run it. I don't care. If you got a hot cam, run it. If you got it for free, run it. I personally wouldn't go pay money for one. I wouldn't go pay, you know, brand new pricing for one. I'd probably give 100 to 200 bucks for one. That's being honest with you. But I wouldn't go spend, you know, $1,000 on a hot cam kit. That's just dumb to me. My personal choice on cams, I like the Tick lineup, and I like Lloyd Elliott stuff. I'm good friends with Lloyd Elliott. We bounce ideas back and forth quite a bit. And I've never had one of his cams underperform. I'll just be honest with you. This one actually it don't even have a set of crazy heads on it, but we'll get to that in a minute. So again, cam wise, I don't mind an off-the-shelf cam, but if you're gonna buy a new cam, get a custom grind or like any one of the Tick lineups, they're awesome cams. Like I made some good power with all those cams in between the Hold My Beer and the Stage 1 they have. Like great cams. I'm not sure about their valve springs. I don't have a lot of experience with their valve springs, but my customers seem to like them. So on that, if you want Lloyd's information, I'll just leave it in the description below too. You can contact him for a custom grind cam, and he'll hook you up with a set of Lunati valve springs too with the kit. So let's see what else we got. Intake manifold. Not a lot of power to be gained there unless you're really high horsepower stuff. This one's got a ported intake manifold just because, like, that's it. It was just a throw. I had it. I think I paid $100 for it. Some guy wanted to get rid of it. Cool. All right, I'll take it. Might as well. We're completely forgetting the fuel system here. Fuel system, 255 pump at minimum. Hot wire kit, definitely. So Racetronics makes a really good kit for that. Injectors. Do not cheap out on injectors. I don't care if you buy them from me or not. Do not cheap out on injectors. I sell a fairly cheap set of injectors that are like rebuilt. I wouldn't waste my time on anything below a 30-pound injector, even on a stock vehicle. You need to tune. You definitely need to tune for this. So don't cheap out on injectors, please. Like if you buy an eBay injector, you're gonna be sorry. Like I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be sorry. Those guys, some friends of mine. You're gonna be sorry if you run an eBay injector. Period. Let's see what else we got. Fuel pressure regulator. Don't waste your time on that. Like now, if you run a 340, okay. So actually, on that note, if you run a 340 liter per hour pump and above, you're gonna need one. It's gonna rip through the diaphragm. I've done it before. I've had a customer do it before, and he had to get an adjustable regulator. So I've got one on my Camaro just because it's turbocharged and it's got a 525 pump in it. So okay, so then you have heads. Heads wise, TrigFlow makes a real nice set of just off-the-shelf heads. I think AFR makes a nice set of heads. I personally just like supporting stock heads. I've had real good luck with them. I'm Lloyd Elliott again. Guy's awesome. Doesn't take a lot of time. Real nice work. Stamps them with your name on them. Good stuff. Real good quality pricing. I mean, just an excellent guy to deal with. I don't remember how much a set of ported heads are, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Power is in the heads, period. I've had multiple customers with a heads and cam stock bottom end setup, pushing well over, like just 400 horsepower plus, all right? I'm not gonna say well over, but 400 plus horsepower through an automatic or manual, guys. Kind of depends on what it is. And then if you want to get into like drag racing and stuff and you're really worried about hooking up, we're gonna do tires. So you want a radial, a good drag pack. There's lots of information out on the internet about that stuff. This one runs drag shocks in the back and front. Just a typical off-the-shelf thing, nothing adjustable, just a basic setup. That's a whole nother video. I'm gonna end it right here on the bolt-on stuff. So let's end it right there on that. I'm here at this this place I need to tune a car at. So if I forget anything, just comment down below. But yeah, I think that covers everything. Any questions, comments, concerns, issues, please leave a like or a comment down below. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTuber stuff. And catch you guys on the next one.